Welcome back to the last ReelTime RoundTable of this semester. We have a fun but laid-back show for you here today. We're talking the Deadpool Wolverine trailer number 2 that just dropped yesterday, our full Fallout review, and lastly, for all of us here at the table, what are our summer plans, and then also, what do we like to do during the summer during our free time? Let's get into it. Welcome back, everybody, to ReelTime RoundTable. We give you the best Hollywood news here on YouTube. I am, of course, your host, Josh Williams.
I'm Jordan Burke.
I'm Icarus.
I'm Thomas.
And we are dressed to the nines, everybody. Yeah. We're doing this, at the time of this recording, we are going to our KMOS Red Digital Banquet. Then, as you see this, when it airs on Thursday, we're also going to be doing our gala. So we're dressing up for both occasions.
Fancy.
Just why not? Everybody's looking very, very nice today. Thomas, Icarus, you guys are looking very handsome.
Yes.
I'm about to give the weather, actually.
I do also look a little bit like a weatherman, yeah.
You look very nice in your dress,
Thank
Jordan.
you. Thank
and
you.
And Thomas seems to always look like a mobster whenever I dress up, so I guess we'll go with that.
You kind of do.
No, nothing?
Rain at 10.
Yeah, okay. No, not doing it. Welcome here, everybody. We're having a fun show for you guys here today. So let's go ahead and just get started, guys. Let's get right into it. I'm excited. We're going to be talking the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer that just dropped 2 days ago. And this is the second trailer. It comes out July. And to start off with Icarus, like, you're not a huge fan of Marvel, right?
Well, no, okay, so here's the thing. I used to be, and, like, throughout my childhood, I always have been. We played lots of Marvel-related games that got me into Marvel. And I watched, like, all the movies, and I was really into it. And then it just, you know, part of it is I became a film student, and so the appeal to them really just dropped off. And also, they've kind of been flopping recently, just not exactly good production value, quality production value. Deadpool in particular is one that I've always had trouble with.
Oh, okay.
Because, yeah, it's funny. The first one I liked. The second one was okay. This one just seems like it's going to be just okay. I don't know. It's almost a little too silly for me. I have a hard time with comedy in general. Like, I feel like I just don't find a lot of things funny, which is so harsh, but, like, I don't know. And so, yeah, Deadpool is one of them where it's like, I just don't find it that funny, and so I feel like I'm missing out on the appeal of it.
I mean, hold on. Addie says too many people die in
the second one, for sure. It's like every character that you get introduced to dies, and that's like the bit, so it makes sense. But
he's making fun of fun of the trope in that situation. In this one, I think they're really going to stick hard with the Wolverine and Deadpool aspect of it. But I do get what you're saying. Some people may not find it funny, and it looks like they really threw. I almost feel like this trailer threw everything in the kitchen sink at it, just to kind of make sure people get their butts in the seats. So I do feel like there's always that level of comedy and drama with Deadpool that I always appreciate, and they're able to blend it well. But Jordan, you saw it as well. What did you think?
I think visually it does look good. I do agree that especially for Deadpool, the story being so dark, and Wolverine is also somewhat of a dark story, it does feel like they are trying to bring up the comedy a little bit, which I think can be done very well as long as they do it correctly and they're able to balance the comedy versus the dark action of it. The action sequences look really good. And I'm also just excited to see Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman together.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things I'm looking forward to. Like, I remember when they did the first video, like, they're at his house, something like, hey, Hugh, you want to do Deadpool 3 with me? Yeah, sure, Ryan. Like, I love that little skit. It was really funny. Thomas, you've had your ups and downs with Disney overall, but you've been a fan of Deadpool before, correct? And
I never disliked Deadpool, but it was never I never went and saw a Deadpool movie in theaters. I'll put it that way. They were always movies where I saw them eventually. I enjoy the first Deadpool. I don't really remember that much about the second Deadpool. I remember the scene with Domino that I thought was really cool. That's about all I remember. And I know Brad Pitt had a cameo. Those are the two things I remember about Deadpool too.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have my doubts about this movie being really something interesting. I know people have been hyping it up for literally years. People have been trying to get Hugh Jackman to return as Wolverine in the MCU specifically for a very long time, and this could be a way to do that, but I don't think that it is necessary. I think for this movie, it kind of seems like they're making a joke of that, and I think that's probably fine. I don't know if they're going to continue it long term. Something interesting, I thought, I looked up who the film's director is, because apparently I base everything I am going to think about a movie about who the director is. And it's Sean Levi, and if you don't know who Sean Levi is, apparently he's Ryan Reynolds' #1 director, because almost every single movie that he has worked on has Ryan Reynolds in it. Some of these include Free Guy, which came out in 2021.
Was that awesome?
Yeah.
All the Night at the Museum movies, which I don't remember specifically if Ryan Reynolds
He wasn't, but it was kind of where he got to start.
A Netflix movie from 2022 that I actually really like called The Atom Project, which is where I learned the song "Give Me Some of Lovin'." I forget exactly who it's by, but it's very catchy in that. And that has absolutely nothing to do with Deadpool and Wolverine. But I think that it could be good. I feel like based off of his past, these movies are very witty, but they also know when to take themselves seriously. So I'm hoping that because of that, the movie will be decent. I'm hoping.
That's really a great point, because Sean Levi has really proven himself to be a pretty good director. He also he did quite a few episodes of the Stranger Things, so that's where I kind of knew him at first. But yeah, Free Guy, I loved it, and all the other stuff I've loved him directing in. I guess I'm on an island on my own. I saw this trailer, and at the end where they're like saying, let's go, I just like hopped up off my couch, was like, let's go. Like, I was so excited. I was, Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I feel like maybe I was a little too harsh in my initial reaction. I forgot to say this. I think this is the most important part of my initial review. This is the first Marvel movie in a while that I actually am like a little bit excited about. Because the last like 4 or 5 projects I've been like, Like I saw Guardians 3 when it came out last May, and I think like the project before that I didn't even see in theaters. Yeah. I don't remember. And I said that Guardians 3 was the last one I was going to care about. This one, I'm not going to care about it yet. They haven't won my trust back yet. However, I'll get a little excited, sure. Still don't know if I'll see it in theaters, but if I hear good things, I am sure I'll get an invite.
And I will argue the only reason I'm saying I believe that this one will...
I wanted to add a comment.
Oh, no, go ahead. Sorry.
No, another thing in its defense, I love the costuming because it is like comic book reliant costuming. And you mentioned like, I don't know why we need this story. In the comic books, Wolverine and Deadpool are a pretty heavy duo, at least at a certain point. I'm not the most well versed in the comics, but I know that. And I love that like that's the Wolverine costume, like comic book costume
from the 90s.
And so I do really like that. I think that's really cool. It's very comic book lore reliant, it seems like. So
I just love that a lot of stuff I saw within it is going to be melding kind of in what we saw in Loki as far as the multiverse, but as far as like the place where like anything gets pruned goes to, because you saw Alioth in the trailer, which is from Loki season 1 and 2. You saw, I love the shot where you see like a huge giant head of Ant-Man. Like that stuff like that is really cool, and I did see some set shots where they have like the 20th Century Fox stone thing in the background. I think they're gonna make fun of that part. But for me, I think the reason I believe that this will work out for the better is because the fact that it's also Ryan Reynolds who's producing it as well. He produced Deadpool's 1 and 2. He's been a very integral part in making these what they are, and that to me shows that I have faith in it, even though it's also Marvel right now has not had the best track record, but that's where I feel like it will do its best work. Other than that, the costumes are awesome. The action looks great. I like the fact that this is gonna be. It's still rated R, but they're really heavily leaning into it more as far as like the language and the action and the gore. I'm just beyond excited for this one. I can't wait for July 28th now. Honestly, I'm excited. But all right, folks. What did you guys think of the Deadpool Wolverine trailer number 2? Leave your comments in that section below and let us know your thoughts.
And now for the weather.
Yes. What is the weather looking like for us today, Thomas?
It's a little bit wet.
It's a little bit.
It's a little bit.
I don't think it's raining at all.
There were some dribbles.
It just looks like it.
It's a couple dribbles here and there.
A little cloudy.
We're weathermen who are like competing. Like, no, actually, it's going to be slightly cloudy with a 30% chance of rain, and you're like, no, it's going to be partially sunny with a 37% chance of rain.
I was going to look up what the weather actually
is,
but I misspelled it, so I think that's all we need to know.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Neither of us are meteorologists.
No.
It's all,
So up next.
So up next.
Moving on.
We have all watched Fallout.
Yes.
I know you three have. I have questions for you. I want to start with Thomas, since you're kind of one of our Fallout fanatics a little bit. Just what were your overall thoughts of the entire show?
I am very impressed. I read an article earlier today, and I forget exactly who the article was by, so I apologize, but it was talking about an interview with the director, Jonathan Knoll? What's the director's name? Why can't I remember it?
Oh, the showrunner?
Showrunner, yes.
I can look that up for you.
Anyways, I saw it was an interview between the showrunner and Todd Howard, who is a big player at Bethesda Game Studios and one of the main people backing the Fallout franchise. And it was talking about how they decided that they wanted
Graham Wagner.
Graham Wagner?
Graham
I thought it was
Wagner.
like Jonathan something.
That may have been...
Maybe I'm thinking of the writer? Hold on.
Okay, so our actual weather person, Sam, says it will be 73 degrees with 10% chance of rain. So there's your weather for us.
Interesting.
Coming to you right here from ReelTime RoundTable.
The best weather, a week late.
A week late.
Jonathan Nolan is the director of 3 of the episodes.
I remember that because
the director. Okay, because the showrunners are the ones who oversee it, but then you have directors of separate episodes. Okay,
Jonathan, sorry, you were saying?
I was going to say Jonathan Nolan. I'm like, oh, like our Nolan. I remember seeing it in the credits, and I'm like, I know that guy. I don't. I know Nolan.
No, Nolan actually.
Nolan Baker.
Nolan directed
He did. He did a great job.
So yeah, Jonathan
Nice job,
Nolan was talking with Todd Howard in an interview about it, and basically what they were saying is they're like, yeah, well, a lot of the video game adaptations that we see in live stream are like, they're adapting stories that already exist. For example, The Last of Us, just because it was, I think, one of the more successful versions, and it's pretty one-to-one. There were 8 episodes around an hour long. So it's very, very similar, except for that The Last of Us covers a story that we already saw in the games.
Yeah.
Whereas the Fallout show is instead taking this timeline that's already been established and building on that as if it was another entry in the game. And I think that general just respect for the timeline and the story that they've built is really something that we haven't seen with video game adaptations. And I think that a lot of people are pleasantly surprised by the subtle changes that they did make. And from what I've seen, nobody's been terribly upset by it. I know that there's a lot of fans of, without spoiling too much, there's a lot of fans of Fallout New Vegas who are getting their
feelings hurt.
Yeah, a little bit. They're getting a little bit flustered, for lack of a better term, and honestly, I can't help but just like point and laugh. And I'm like, yeah, that's what you get for saying that it's the best game and ever game made after it was trash. Just saying, just saying. Dang. I like Fallout
Thomas,
New Vegas.
Take a shot.
I think that a lot of people overhype it, and that people who say that 4 and 76 never should have been made just hate fun. So.
Well, so to your point, 93% aggregate score on Rotten Tomatoes with an average score of 7.9 out of 10, and then 88% of audiences gave it a positive review. So a lot of people are right there with you.
Oh
yeah. I finished this guy the first weekend it came out. I took time apart and actually watched the whole thing. So I've been waiting for you guys all to finish it. I never played the games ever. I was ever since I saw trailers beforehand when games first came out, just didn't quite appeal to me. This was awesome. The characters were incredible. The girl the main character,
Ella Purnell.
Yep, Ella Purnell. She killed it.
Yes.
I mean, killed it. And not to go against anybody else who were there. They were all incredible. I mean, Walton Goggins was amazing, and so was Aaron Moten, who played Maximus. All incredible with their own right, but she just killed it.
She just took it to like a new level.
She did.
Just like everyone was here, and she kind of went.
Yeah, she really
just
did.
A little bit.
Because the subtleties and a lot of her dialogue, like how she would say certain dialogues. Like I love at the end. We're gonna get into spoilers, guys. So if you have not seen it,
maybe don't spoil anything too heavy-handed.
No, we're not gonna spoil anything too heavy-handed. No,
yeah.
just some stuff. I like in the beginning where she's all like very happy and she's like okie dokie, but at the end you see that character change, and she's just like it's kind of like very like okie dokie, like, you know what I mean? Like it's still there, but the world has changed her, but she's still who she is. You know what I mean? Like it changed her a little bit, but not taking away the core of who she is. And I love that depth of a character of that reason. Other than that, I mean, there's lots more stuff I can talk about. But what about you?
Yeah, kind of building on that. The acting in all of it is phenomenal. There's not a single character that I was like, they could have casted someone better for that. No, like everyone really put their whole heart into it, and I think they all played them really well. My favorite part about watching the show is sitting next to Thomas as he, because I have no stakes in this whatsoever. Like, I don't know really anything about Fallout. So when we're watching it, and yeah, like the ending again, the stuff with New Vegas where he's like, whoa, and I'm like, that's funny. I'm like, oh, wow, the timeline's ruined. Womp womp. But not actually. It's just kind of.
You tell me a story? Funny. You told me a story that there's a big plot point that gets revealed. That's kind of like a crux of the whole franchise. Yeah. Apparently, this is what Thomas was doing.
This is how he was sitting, and like even me watching it, like again, not really having any stakes, knowing the previous lore, it was still like, whoa, that's a pretty big like bombshell drop.
Yeah.
And so then turning around and seeing Thomas in that exact position.
I was in that position for probably 10 minutes.
It was yeah.
Like, not exaggerated. It was because again, we're not going to spoil what this big bombshell is. But I will say is that it has implications over all other pieces of media that we see in the Fallout franchise, and it all ties directly back to something that we see in the show, which is something that I was debating whether or not we needed it because it was something that was previously ambiguous in the rest of the universe. And I kept thinking to myself, I was like, well, was this something that needed to be known? But just because of the impact that it had and the way that it builds up to it, I think that they could not have done a better job of revealing that information.
Oh, yeah.
Because if they had just casually mentioned it, it would have been like, oh, well, all right, well, now we know, I guess. But the way that we find out is so exciting, I guess, but in like the worst way possible.
Yeah.
It's devastating is a good way to describe it. Frankly, it was a little bit, I felt a little bit nihilistic afterwards.
Yeah, like, oh dear God.
I literally said,
oh God.
Hands on my head, I was like, nothing matters. Nothing that I've ever done has ever mattered.
Yeah, can confirm, he did say those exact words.
Addie has something she'd like to add for the outfits look super canon.
Yes.
Would you agree with that, Thomas?
I would. The vault suits look fan-freaking-tastic. I love the Ghoul. I can't stop talking about the Ghoul. Ghoul's outfit is so cool.
I came around to him.
Did you come around to him? Did you ever look at him there now?
I've come around to him. He's still, the nose still yucks me out, but I've seen it so many times I'm desensitized to it now. It's not quite as yuck to me. But, and yeah, especially his character, you know. And that's how shows work. So, I mean, of course, we're going to come around to his character.
Right.
Yeah. The reason why he is the way that he is like, oh, yeah, no, that's valid, actually. Yeah, you should feel like that.
Other thing I really appreciate what they did was the amount of world building they're able to do really well. I mean, they had the franchise to go off of regardless, but to be able to do it in such a scale they did here is, to me, I applaud them quite a bit because there's so much desert out there, but they're able to blend it, make it look like it's in the city. Just certain things like that, like even like the set pieces, the production designs, all around were just spectacular.
Oh yeah.
What you got 3 episodes left, so that's why we're trying to stay away from the spoilers. But what have you thought just so far, in general?
I think it's really good. I think since it is a show based off a video game, and I'm not a gamer, I'm just automatically a little turned off from it. But watching it, it looks good. I'm very intrigued by it. I really want to finish the next ones, so I'm really excited. But I did have another point I wanted to bring up. Okay. Which I think is an interesting thing to think about. I read an article earlier, and someone was saying that the show was fantastic, and they loved it, but they're afraid it's soon going to fade from the conversation because Amazon dropped all 8 episodes at once. So, I mean, for the last couple weeks, we have been talking about it because it's been promoted, it's been released. Now we've all seen it. Do you guys agree with that? Do you think it would have been maybe better or beneficial for them to just do like an episode a week, or should they have just dropped them all?
That's a really good question.
I will say, to the general public, it will probably fade, but to the social media circles that I'm in, it's probably going to stick around for a little bit just because of how heavy-handed some of the implications are.
I have thoughts, because this is actually kind of a grander issue that relates to blockbuster media and consumption a little bit, because if you think about it, this kind of happens with any show or movie that comes out that's not in a sort of series, or what is it called? Yeah, series.
Yeah.
Which this one is, because they've announced season 2 already.
Yep, they just announced it.
Like not a whole lot of people talk about The Last of Us, which came out like a year ago at this time, roughly. And so that's actually, again, it's just kind of more of an issue with the way that media is treated in the industry. And I don't know that there are answers for it. There's certainly not answers I have, but it's kind of like this happens a lot where we hype up this thing. Barbie and Oppenheimer are another big example. Hyped it up, crazy. They came out, no one cares anymore. And I don't know that there's a way to fix that or a way to address that. It's more of just an observation I've had about, again, what I'll call blockbuster media in general, which is things that are hyped up a lot, and then no one seems to care about them, even though they still hold up.
And something I've noticed is, weirdly, things get more attention if they're bad.
Definitely.
Things
No, for sure. And that, I mean, that's
bad.
Again, another issue about society in general is like the way the news works as well. It's things are more easily covered if it's a negative topic rather than a positive one. And so this is just the same thing. And so really it's kind of more of an issue of consumption and the way that people consume media.
To go off of that as well, I think one of the big things too is because we have so many things that come out now with streaming, that the attention span of audiences, like you get hyped up on it, you watch it, then you move on.
It's over.
But then once the new season comes around, that's when they start promoting again. Like, oh, okay, it's coming back around. Like people like us, we follow this stuff. We know when, at least for me and Jordan, like we know when like the next season, Last of Us season 2 is filming right now. It's in post. It's actually about to be in post production. Things like that, like. But for that everyday going audience, I think for the general audience, going back to what some of these shows have done and some of these streaming services is doing weekly episodic. Drag it out. Keep people on the hook. Like Netflix spoiled us all from just dumping everything. Yeah. And everything, like everybody wanted that binge watching kind of quality. But I think for me is getting that word of mouth going. Like for me, one big one for me is Reacher. Reacher season 1 and 2. Reacher season 2, they all went out episodically. It's on Amazon Prime. But the word of mouth kept growing and growing and growing because you gotta watch the show, because then it kept garnering more people. Whereas if you just dump it all at once, it's kind of a flash in the pan and you don't have enough time to get people to come in. So that's why I feel like for me, if I hope for season 2, while I would hate it because I did love binging this, I think going to an weekly episodic event type of thing would be beneficial for it, because that's what also House of Dragon is doing. They did with their season 1 and they're doing now with season 2.
Something else that Invincible did recently.
Yes, exactly.
Where the
What
first
We Do in the
season
Shadows, we did that over the summer.
Yep.
They released it episodically on, they also aired live on television, but yeah.
Yeah, and I think that that's a good way to do it, because I think that with this show in particular, because video game adaptations do have a not great reputation at the moment and just through history. And I think that recently they've been doing, but specifically the last year and a half, they've been doing better, because I think starting with Last of Us, maybe there's other things that I don't recall, but I think that was the first big one that got a lot of people's attention. And I think they knew that they had a kind of risky piece of content, and they didn't really know how the general audiences were going to react. So we'll put it all at once. If they don't like it, they won't watch it, and if they do want to watch it, they will. And I do hope that for season 2 they do that episodic, because even if you have, an 8-episode season coming out weekly, that's still 2 months of active viewership, even if people aren't watching it the day it comes out. They have a whole week to watch it.
Or what they could do is, some seasons have done this for certain shows where they'll release 2 or 3 episodes at once to hook people, and then they start going episodically. That could be also very beneficial too. But let's roll it back here to Fallout. Now, we aren't going to get into a ton of spoilers because we don't want to ruin anything for Jordan, but also some people have not seen the full thing yet. But it's out there. We know at the end credit, kind of the end credit scene, Lucy's father, Hank, came down, and we see New Vegas out in the horizon. Now, this does take place, you said, 8 years after...
9 years after Fallout 4.
Okay.
But 15 years after the events of Fallout New Vegas.
Yes.
Which is the last time that we saw this.
So from what it looked like to me, it looked very desolate. Like, it's not the thriving thing you saw in New Vegas. So I just want to maybe get some theories, especially we're going to start with you, what you think could happen in season 2 to kind of go from there, since it does look so desolate, because there's going to be a lot of stuff to connect from New Vegas to now.
I'm going to give an answer that may surprise you, and I'm going to choose not to respond because I'm just not that knowledgeable about the New Vegas story and everything that it has going on. And I know that a lot of people find it very intricate, and I just don't know it, so I don't want to tell the story and get it wrong. At this time, Mr. Bobicki, would you like to give your answer?
So I feel really weird saying this now because I'm I haven't played any of the games. I've only seen this show. And perhaps this is an oversimplified answer, but I mean, I think it was just kind of the same thing that happened with Shady Sands that we see earlier in this series. Things kind of started to go to poop.
Stuff hit the fan.
And that had really widespread effects that also happened to hit New Vegas.
Well. That's a good point.
Yeah, because in Universe, I
feel like it's, I don't know, maybe that's a very, very simplified answer, but I'm like, well, it seems like the organization who was kind of behind all of this kind of started making things go really, really badly post the time that we most recently see in the games.
Right. Yeah, that actually could be, that's a really good point. I didn't think about that part. Because what happened with Shady Sands could easily have happened there too, given the fact of what happened.
Yeah, or something, just something similar. Or maybe as a preventative measure, they moved down into a vault or something. Yeah. I don't know. Could be something like that too.
Granted, this is something that's really hard to say because the next game is going to be so far. It's like probably not even for the next like 8-10 years before we see the Fallout 5. But I really hope that the Fallout 5 story deals with the fallout of what we see at the end of the show, and I'm sure season 2 will be done by then. So, and honestly, I hope they keep it at just 2 seasons. I don't know where the story's going to go. I feel like the first season, while it does have a setup for another season, if it got scrapped completely, I feel like a lot of people would still be okay with where it left off. There'd still be questions, sure, but you could answer those in other forms of media like another game.
Right.
I think that season 2 can wrap everything up really nicely that we don't have answers to, and then just be done with it. I don't think we need to keep this going to like seasons 9, 10, whatever. I just don't think it's necessary.
I've said that as a blanket statement for every show, it needs to be limited to 2 or 3 seasons max, because after that it just starts to go badly. Stranger Things is a big example for me. I'm like, season 4 and 5 are the most. Is it 5? 5 is coming out. Yeah. Anyways, I thought 4 was awful.
Really?
Didn't like it at all.
Oh,
like,
man,
and I didn't even really like season 3 either. I thought I know we're kind of getting off on a tangent. I thought it was great after season 2, and they just made more to make more money.
They didn't know what to do with the story.
I need that to stop happening to shows that I enjoy. I need them to reel it in, recognize when they have, milked it for all that they can, and just move on to something else.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, let's wrap up our thoughts here, then we'll move on here. So give us your final thoughts. We'll go around the bin and in your score.
Final thoughts. Maybe we should start building vaults. I don't know. Maybe not by Vault Tech, but nuclear annihilation might not be that strange of a thought in the real world. But let's not think about that. Final ratings for the show, probably an 8.5 for me.
Okay. You're not done yet, but what do we give it so far?
So far, an 8.
An 8.
It's good.
Okay. I really love this show. I think it surprised me, even though because I wasn't a fan of the franchise beforehand. Actors are amazing. I am actually I'm more excited to see what happens with Los Angeles, given the fact that we see at the very end and the implications of that. That could be very big.
New Vegas, not Los Angeles.
Huh?
New Vegas?
No, Los Angeles.
Oh.
What happened in LA
Yeah.
with Maximus and all that stuff.
Oh.
That's really big, important. Like, that's kind of big. It could have implications for the future.
In Philly.
Was it in...
It was Shady Sands.
Shady Sands, sorry, in Shady Sands.
No, it was the New California Republic.
It was New California Republic,
They're kind of new headquarters after it had been...
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the implications of that I'm really excited for. I'm probably going to give this one a 9. There's some things I feel like they could have cut short, something they could have expanded upon, but that's just my personal thing. But we'll leave it last to our expert here and your final thoughts.
I just remember what you're talking about. No, what you said makes total sense. Disconnect in the brain. There are worms. I'm going to give it a 9. I thought it was really solid. I'm very happy that it didn't screw this one up because I think, as I mentioned last time, it would have been a little bit heartbreaking to see something that I love so much just go absolutely terrible.
Like the Cats musical.
The Cats musical, though.
The movie?
The Cats, yeah.
That said, this show is devastating. If you love Fallout, you're going to love the show, and you're going to leave a little sad.
I think that's how a lot of Halo fans thought about Season 1 when it first came out. They were all just very disappointed and let down. All right, guys. Well, what did you think of Fallout, the first season? Leave your comments in that section below and let us know your thoughts and give us your positives, negatives, and score out of 10. All right, for our discussion of the week, we're going to keep things light and fun. We're talking summer break because this is the last show here of ReelTime RoundTable for this semester. We'll be back after the summer break. I will be, however, on my YouTube channel, ReelTime. It'll be in the description box below. I will be continuing this in a way, but it'll just be from home by myself, or if Jordan would like to come on every once in a while. It depends on Zoom. I will be covering still some weekly stuff, so keep an eye out for that on my YouTube channel, but on here on Red Digital. This will be the last one until fall semester. Summer break. We have 4 people here. We're going to just start going about what are you guys' plans on summer break? And then we can also just talk about, like, if you don't really have plans, what do you like to do just like when you have that free time? Let's start with Icarus.
My plans are to take a break.
Take a mind break?
Summer break. Emphasis on break there. Yeah, this has been a very brutal semester, and I think I'm speaking for everyone at the table when I say that. And everyone in the room and everyone in the control room. Yeah, it's been a rough semester. So I'm excited to relax and not think about the things that I have to do in the coming semester and really over the summer too. But yeah, that's the big one.
That's awesome.
Actually take a break.
What are you gonna try and do besides just exist?
Well, I do want to play Minecraft. Lots of Minecraft again. I'm planning on starting a Minecraft series. Shameless self-promo. That's the biggest plan I have. I know that's kind of the opposite of what I just said. I'm like, yeah, I want to take a break. Here's this other thing that I want to do. I'm going to start something.
But that's for fun.
Yeah, that's a passion
It is for
project.
fun. It is a passion project. I don't know.
Yeah, that's good stuff. What about you, Jordan?
I'm also taking a break.
It's
not been like bad, it's just been a lot. But I like to take the summer and I visit family, visit old friends, but I also like to work on projects that I can't work on in class or at work, just kind of like fun, personal things.
Like a Minecraft series.
Like a Minecraft series. Oh.
Are any of you guys working or anything like that? Are you working?
Yeah.
No, you get to, oh boy.
I mean, I probably at some point.
Yeah.
Certainly should.
Because you were on the fence about where you were going to be working at.
Yeah, I have a couple options lined up.
Okay,
not sure what.
Because you weren't too keen. You didn't seem to have it. We talked about where you were going to work there for the summer.
We had words yesterday.
So for me, I'm not going to go to me. I'm going to go to Thomas next because Thomas is graduating. Oh gosh, he's graduating. He's going to be a real boy. He's going to grow up and go out into the world.
You said, what are you doing over your summer break? And I realized I don't really get a summer break. It's just summer. And I just keep doing all the same stuff I'm doing now. But
welcome to the adulthood.
I'm paid for it. Yeah, I'm graduating and I'm going to be going off to the big city to do big city things. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing yet. Yeah, I know that I'm still going to be doing video stuff, obviously. That's kind of the whole point of me being here. And so I'll be around, and this is probably not even going to be the last time that I'm seen on this particular channel.
No.
Because, yeah, we got some cool stuff planned, hopefully, time permitting. And yeah, I'm gonna take a really nice break. I'm gonna take like a week off. I'm just gonna lay down. I'm gonna boot up Fallout, and I'm just not gonna think for like a day. Probably gonna listen to a lot of music. I've been doing a radio show through the beat here, so I've been in this constant brutal cycle of having to find new music to play on the show, wanting to follow up with the music that I've already found in past shows, and also just wanting to listen to the music that I already had, and I just don't have that much time to listen to music. So I'm just gonna like turn the brain off and just make a big playlist and just let it play for like 3 days straight, and I think that's the plan.
Not much is going to change for me. Well, there's still a lot of stuff we're going to be doing, but of course, like, after I get done with school here, that's just one less thing on my plate. Still got a lot of weddings coming down the pipe. Leilani's going to be working with me a couple times this summer for a wedding at the Secret Gardens, where I do a lot of my photography work. But I'm actually starting off the summer on May 4th, my daughter's birthday party.
Yay!
Aww.
And she's having you guys are going to love this. She picked out this theme, by the way, because we asked her what she wanted for a theme. Zombie mermaids.
That's so accurate
awesome.
to what I know about
If anybody knows my daughter, that is completely accurate.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
That's fun.
That's how we start off the summer. I am, however, some people may know last fall my grandfather passed away, and he was kind of like my grandma passed a while back. So we used to, as a family, take a trip to a place called Lake Okoboji in Iowa. It's in northern Iowa, if anybody knows where that is. We used to do that all the time as a family. We're actually going there again for the 4th of July as a big family. The shocking part for me is that my family from Arizona is coming as well. Like we haven't seen some of. I have second cousins. I haven't never actually met them. So I'm really excited that our entire family is going to be up there for this trip, and I'm really looking forward to it. Taking my daughter there is going to be a lot of fun because I used to go to that place when I was a kid. It's kind of like that cathartic kind of like taking your daughter to something that you used to do as a kid would be a lot of fun to do. But that's kind of one of the biggest ones for me. There might be, I think that's the only really big trip. But like, what do you guys like to, like, in your free time? Everyone says we're taking a break, but like for me, okay, so one of the things I like to do during the summer for sure is I get my butt in the movie theater a lot.
What's a movie you're excited to see?
Like this summer?
Yeah.
Well, Deadpool Wolverine was my number one from what we saw when we did our top 3 of the summer. But like, I'm just ready to. Like, I've gone to the movies here this semester, but not as much as I'd love to. But I just love the environment of the movies. I love feeling that, eating the snacks, immersing yourself into popcorn. Immersing yourself within a story and just forgetting about everything else. I haven't had a chance to do that a lot. I still did that some here throughout this semester, but I'm just gonna be like a movie theater rat. But like, that's one of the big things for me. What about you guys?
I just play video games like Minecraft. That's a big one.
The big one?
Yeah.
It's kind of one of your things that helps keep you sane.
Yeah. And I haven't been able to do it like at all this semester, so looking forward to it.
I like just being out late. Not like that partying, but just like driving around or like going to see like a late movie.
Cruising.
Just cruising.
I love cruising.
It's just fun, especially in the summer.
Yeah.
I like it.
That
Windows
summer
down.
breeze out there.
Yeah. It's like midnight. It's just fun.
What about you, Thomas?
The annual get together with my friends and go out into the woods with cameras and pretend that we're hunting cryptids of some kind.
Slash.
Because I'm a normal person, I promise.
Addie says slasher movie summer.
Oh,
There's quite a few slashers coming out this summer, isn't there, Addie? There's quite a few the slashers come out this summer. I'm looking forward to those too. Another one for me is this is gonna make me sound old, but I don't care. I'm looking forward to go and play some golf. Just to go out there, grab a. I know Sam burst out
laughed in the back.
Honestly, because I go when I can, when I'm very busy, but it's honestly a lot of fun. You grab yourself a 6-pack of beer, you go out there, have a good time, swing the club. Doesn't matter if you do bad, good or bad, but.
That's so interesting. I don't golf, so I don't get it at all, but people who golf love it.
It's very peaceful.
And then I do it, and I'm like, this is kind of boring, to be honest.
To me, it's peaceful just to be out there, just kind of out there.
Maybe we're too young to understand.
I love
Our brains are a little too
To be fair, I have felt this way since I was a teenager. So my grandpa got me into golf when I was 7, so I've been in that my whole
just
life.
like you turn your brain off?
Yeah, just turn my brain off and enjoy just being out. And
Dope.
My dad might want to go, so. Me and your dad, we'll go play 18. Let him know.
Go play golf with Sam Savage.
We golf.
I'll play some We golf. We golf will be fun. The last thing for me I love to do in the summer, it depends upon as long as the weather permits it, because I don't like to go when it's too hot, but just going camping, going fishing, just kind of setting up a tent, being out there just away from everything. And of course, going out, drinking, having a good time with friends, stuff like that. Those are some big ones for me.
Do you all go to amusement parks in the summer?
Oh,
or is that like
sometimes?
Yes.
Okay.
Especially like water parks.
Because I know some people are like, oh, you have to go in the fall. It's not hot. But I feel like if you're not at an amusement park, feel like you're gonna die because you're so hot.
Yeah.
You're not doing it right.
You're missing the experience.
You're missing it. Exactly.
I'm just not an amusement park guy, really.
Really?
No.
I love them.
I go to water parks.
I love water parks. Those
water
I'm
parks
down
are nice.
for. Yeah.
I like being in a pool.
Yeah. Being submerged in water is
being submerged. Yes, I want to be submerged. I want to float, and I don't want to think about anything.
Yeah.
Get me a pina colada and a drink in my hand. Let me pull a full
pina
Jimmy
colada
Buffett.
and a drink.
So you're at
Well, I need water so I don't get dehydrated.
I see.
Pina colada, cup of water, floating in a pool is my ideal way
Yeah.
to spend the summer.
Glamping.
What's glamping?
Glamorous camping.
It's
Oh.
you're not actually camping. You're
Yeah.
like in an air-conditioned cabin, but you're in
Oh my god.
But you're in the woods.
That still
You're in
works.
the
So you go
woods.
because I'm guessing you still go out and hike and do all that stuff, but you're still. Okay, I guess not.
That seems unenthusiastic.
Oh god.
Well, you mean you don't go and spend 10 days in a tent with one other dude, and you're out in the woods for over like a week and a half?
I've never been camping.
No.
We'll go camping.
Man.
That's the mic drop of the episode. I've never been camping.
We'll go camping in my backyard.
I've lived here now for I don't know how many years. I've yet to go to Worlds of Fun or Branson. Like actual or Silver Dollar City. So I know Tina wants to take me to at least like Branson or Silver Dollar City this summer. So
is Branson not Silver Dollar City?
I think they're different. I think Silver
Dollar City is in Branson.
Well, Branson's also kind of doesn't have its own like attractions and stuff like that.
Yeah, Silver Dollar City.
Yes, but Silver Dollar City is the amusement park.
We're having like
and then Branson is like.
Well, I guess that's what I kind of meant. Is like the stuff around in Branson that's also not.
But there's a ton of stuff. Yeah,
that's what I meant.
There's
a lot of stuff to do that I haven't done yet. That's what I'm looking forward to as well.
Anywho.
But all right, folks, that'll do us for today. Thank you so much for watching. Let's cut to 2 real quick here, Jaden. There we go.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. For everybody who has followed us throughout this whole semester, we appreciate all of your viewing. Appreciate you following us along and enjoying. I hope we gave you an enjoyable show. We will, again, I'm going to remind you, we will be back next semester. Me and Jordan will. We'll come back with a force at the start of the semester. And we're going to try and do still on Thursdays. Hopefully to stick with that for you guys here at the audience. But Thomas won't be here, sadly.
Oh, no.
Wow. And then another thing, too, is we have Cheon, who's not going to be here as well. There, she is leaving as well. We're going to miss her so much. But please, guys, if you like everything we provide for you guys here, not including just ReelTime, but please subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell, punch it. There we go. Punch. So you can receive all of our great content we have for you here on ReelTime. But right now, we're going to get everybody here on stage because we all want to give you the biggest thank you for everybody here who watched us and followed us along on this journey. I hope everybody here had a great time being on this show. As you can see, you see a lot of familiar faces.
Who's this one? Who am I? What show do you run?
There's a lot of people.
And yeah, a lot of people. I love it. But again, I want to say to everybody here who helped me follow this along and who helped me create this. Natalie was one of my first directors who helped me start this thing. I want to give a big shout out to Natalie. Big shout out to everybody here who has helped me direct and organize this. Jordan, my co-host, who's done a tremendous job. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to next semester. It's going to be a lot of fun. But all right, folks, that'll do it for us today. I'm Josh Williams.
I'm Jordan Burke.
I'm Icarus.
I'm Thomas Delzite.
And thank you for keeping it real.
With ReelTime.
Yeah.
Woo! Look at my stickers.
A trunk, apparently?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to find
You didn't
out.
know.
Wait.
All right, cool. We'll cut the block there. Great job, everybody.
We didn't coordinate that at all. We just did that. That was crazy. Did we coordinate that? Wait, did we?
I'll do that. Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to ReelTime RoundTable. I'm Thomas Delzite. I'm taking over the show. Josh doesn't know this, but I'm going to kill him in the parking lot shortly after we end the recording. He thinks we're going to the gala tonight. We're not. He's ending up at the trunk. Welcome back to ReelTime RoundTable. My name is Thomas Delzite. I'm taking over the show. Today we're talking about Fallout and exclusively Fallout. So in